hell with the lighting. I'm just doing a video so I can get ready to try to fix my day. The governor of Oregon shut down the state effectively, and this is going to be going on for a full month, and that'll have the effect of causing some people to be induced to be homeless or lose their jobs or their cars. Or all of them. But anyway, William Bill Milton Cooper served a tour of duty in Vietnam as an E5 in the Navy and received 2 service medals by 1969 or approximately. He may have changed in the 1980s during the fundamentalist millennial period, where people would predict the end of the world and celebrate that idea, mostly because they were upset with something. In 1993, he started his shortwave radio program that was titled The Hour of Time, and it's an anti-government shortwave channel. He's been credited as being the grandfather of what we now call conspiracy theory culture or whatever. 1998, there was an arrest warrant for tax evasion. He vowed he wouldn't be taken alive. He was even more anti-government militia subculture member at that point. He then became convinced that, or decided to spin it as being him personally targeted by the Clintons and IRS because he had broadcast threats to kill any law enforcement officer that tried to take him. Any attempt to arrest him for such things that he considered minor, such as assaulting a local man with a wrench, could be met with armed resistance. Sometime before the year 2000, or after this or during this, he ended up getting charged with bank fraud as well. He was doing all the sovereign citizen crap, apparently, that we know and love today, at least as far as attitude towards things. And he was named a major fugitive by the U.S. Marshals in the year 2000. By that point, it became a let's capture him thing. He was at his Eager, Arizona home, November 5th, 2001. And so this is the story so far. Some police officers posed as being local kids up the road, playing loud music to get him to come out of his house. He doubled back when he figured out what was going on. His car got banged up. He got out of the car and started running. That means the next thing I say is very important. And he reacted to figuring out it was police by opening fire. That meant he had brought a gun with him. They were arresting him for aggravated assault and endangerment of a local resident with a deadly weapon, so it would have been the wrench. He shot an Apache County Sheriff's deputy in the head. The rumors going around are some mixture of it was set up, etc., or entrapment. He was ambushed, not entrapped. Entrapment is when you cause someone to commit a crime. You could try to claim that, but he stated up and down that he was going to kill anybody who came after him for arresting him for anything. It's a bit of an embellishment from another website that he named what he had actually done recently. The fact is that he said he was going to kill anybody who tried to grab him. And I really believe that that's actually what he said. When someone posted a set of videos, I've tried to do this before, but there's always a video that says he predicted 9/11. There's also a video that said that he predicted his own death. When you look up the one where he predicts his own death, every single time, it'll have loud music put over the top of it. He played music during some of his broadcasts while he was talking to fill up space. It's also a good idea for radio transmission that you do that to make sure it doesn't drop signal. But the fact is that the audio recordings, you can tell if you actually are paying attention, are done to cover up the fact that they're editing the hell out of it. So he could have said all sorts of things, but the fact that somebody has to embellish it by putting in dramatic pauses and music and sound effects and make it to where you can't hear him say with his own words what he said in the way he said it, I fail to see why I should treat that as evidence. And a person talking about what happened, describing it, even though it doesn't contradict anything, people then, again, well, we're not selling it good enough, so let's edit it and add some more crap in. So they edit that too. So the description of how he died and the description he made of his prediction of how he died on his doorstep or on his porch. He probably tried to make sure that he got to the porch so he could do his last stand at his porch. He wanted to make sure his last statements would be true in some way. He would vindicate himself, make them regret killing him. But anyway, on June 28, 2001, he told listeners on a shortwave broadcast, Our Time, that Osama bin Laden was about to be blamed for a major attack on a large city. Now, depending on how you look at that, that's accurate. But the news of the day was that that was actually something him or other people like him were threatening to do. Osama bin Laden had become a cartoonish character as far as constantly saying he was going to do something terrible to America. Death to America, that sort of thing. So, it's not much of a stretch, and take it for what you will. Waptec, could you do a video on Bill? He was an interesting guy in the 90s. Beginning, he was absolutely certain aliens were real because he was in the Navy and claimed to see UFOs with spectacular way. Later on, he claimed only to have seen ratings or descriptions and intel. And then later on, he also said that he was convinced the phenomena was a fraud and a hoax. He also claimed that he was somehow made special. You can never not be special or ordinary. And that they picked him specifically so that he could give this message, and he was being used by them. It's never that, oh, I made a mistake and I should stop. The government of the New World Order behind the video, and he talked a great deal about aliens. What really makes him fascinating, my view, and more credible was the way he died. He was murdered by police officers in a shootout and was gunned down a few steps away from his porch, just like what he said would happen. Well, I've already covered that, but that doesn't make it convincing. If someone wants to be ruined in a certain way as a vindication, they're going to use their last bit of energy to make sure that it comes true. Predicting something that you can make happen isn't a prediction, and blaming it on other people seems like a cop-out. There's a video of one person describing how he died and another video where he predicts his own death, and both of them are heavily edited and obviously weren't convincing enough in the unedited versions, I guess. I haven't been able to find those videos unedited ever. I was hoping you found them. Articulate and very controlled and disciplined in the way he presented himself. Absolutely passionate following of truthers. Considered a hero. Only because they've mythologized him. They've turned him from a man to a meme. He could do a video on any concrete proof that he did anything fraudulent. He refused to pay his taxes. I disagree with the man ending up dead from not paying his taxes, or even threatening someone and maybe throwing a wrench at them, but he demanded that he die with them trying to arrest him. I'll say something nice. I don't think he's actually killed anybody in his life. Do I find anything to support his claims? Sad thing to say about a man, but I've covered him before, but I'm going to be a lot more generous today because this is a really shitty day for me. I can't find anything to corroborate anything he said at all except his need to be somehow the center of something. That's sad. I've met people like that. I've lost friends that had that problem. It makes me depressed. Today, the governor of my state made it to where I don't have anywhere to go, when I would have had the ability to do it if she simply stuck with her original assertion at 10 a.m. this morning that made it to where I didn't feel miserable. And even then, we were going to have everything closed down at 10 p.m., a curfew, self-imposed, so that she wouldn't do it. Now she's making it to where anything over 25 people is verboten in a group. If it's warm like this tomorrow, I'm just going to come out this end of town and just sit here. I have to do a 3-mile trek out here. That's actually kind of tiring now, somehow. I have to be able to access clean water. I have to access a toilet. Because you have to have access to a toilet. I know I'm going on and on about my problems, but being homeless isn't that difficult in a modern, functioning civilization where you're literally in third world conditions 5 feet on the other side of a wall where you could use the toilet and get a sink with clean water. And no, there aren't any other services that are going to take the place of this. That's just a giant fucking placebo lie we use. It's not how the world is. You'd be surprised how many bizarrely unrelated things I rely on to stay okay. But anyway, summarizing William Cooper's existence is really mean to do, but he never proved anything he said, and he disproved most of what he said earlier on. Towards the end of his life, the only thing he could assert is that he wished, you can interpret it any way you want to, but he wished to be the center of things, and he'd rather die in a hail of bullets if he actually did predict what happened to him. And he made it happen. And he wanted to be a martyr. And he wanted people to remember him. He won. It's a Pyrrhic victory. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.